Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel where we talk all things life, food, family, and fun. So if that's of interest to you, I would ask that you consider subscribing and joining our family. We would love to have you, and hit the bell so you're notified of all videos that come up. That happens every Tuesday and Thursday. Also go to Facebook and type in Inspiring Women. Find me at Heather Gerhardt 11, and you'll also be notified there because I post all the videos there as well. So on to today's video. I have a parenting tip, and it's also kind of a tip for us as well, and that is how to break up with your phone and still stay friends.
It's not you, it's me.
You're giving me the it's not you, it's me routine? I invented it's not you, it's me. Nobody tells me it's them, not me. If it's anybody, it's me.
All right.
Okay, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that we're all addicted to our phones, but I'm not sure if we really realize the extent to which we are addicted to our phones, and also what we're showing our kids and teaching our kids about that. I gotta say, I've been out to lots and lots of restaurants. We go out a lot, and I look around and observe other families and couples and parents with kids, and I'm watching them sit at a table where they're supposed to be enjoying a meal together and sharing a meal. And I am telling you, 9 times out of 10, the parents and the kids have their faces in some kind of device, whether it's an iPad or it's a phone or it's a DS or some kind of video game. Nobody's even talking to each other. They're all buried in their phone, or it's sitting right next to the table and they're talking to somebody, and the second that thing beeps that they have a text or a message or whatever, they're like this. And they don't even hear you anymore. And the kids have no idea how to have a conversation with adults or with other kids that are at the table without being in a phone. And I observed one father who was sitting there with his teenage son having breakfast, and he's buried in his phone, and the teenager is sitting there. The teenager is sitting there, not on his phone, even though the phone was next to him, eating his pancakes and just sort of doing this. Just looking around because his dad was buried in his phone and not even talking to him. And it was really sad because we don't know how to go out and have an hour without our devices where we can just sit and look at each other. And actually our kids are no longer learning how to talk to people. I mean, they're just texting or online and no more face-to-face. They don't know how to even talk on the phone to somebody or sit in front of them and carry on a conversation for any length of time because they're so buried in screens that they no longer know how to communicate with each other. My tip for you is no screens in restaurants. Put it away, turn it on silent when you walk into a restaurant. Don't give your kids devices to keep them busy when they're in a restaurant. If you don't want to talk to them, don't take them. Get a sitter, leave them at home, but don't drag them to a restaurant and then just hand them something to keep them entertained so that you can have an adult conversation. I mean, why are you even bringing them? And I get, I don't want to pay for a babysitter, but then don't make the babysitter a device to where they don't talk to you. I mean, kids can't even sit in a restaurant and talk anymore with their family or their friends or their siblings because they're all buried in devices because otherwise they're bored. They don't know how to be bored. We don't want them to be bored. We don't want them to complain that they're bored, and so we hand them our phone or a device. And really, that's not helping them. That's not helping them develop relationships, learn how to have conversations, learn how to be bored, and then make the most of that and get creative. It's just overstimulation all the time with screens, and so then everything else is just boring. School is boring because they don't want to just sit and read a textbook. That's boring. So I'm telling you to break up with your phone when you're in restaurants. Put it down, do an experiment for the next 2 or 3 times that you go out, and either leave your phone in the car or put it away and put it on silent so that you don't hear it, and see if you can go through an entire time at a restaurant with your children and carry on conversations, talk, get that thing, Table Topics, that I talked about. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here for Table Topics. You can take a couple of cards with you and just talk and teach your kids how to talk. So you can still be friends with your phone. I'm not saying get rid of your phone, but break up with it when you're in a restaurant. Now, I know there's some situations with certain kids that, maybe they have autism or maybe they've got ADD or something where you kind of need some help when you're out in a public place in order for them to sit still and be engaged. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying the majority of families with children can go out and have a meal and not use some kind of device. We're just so used to it, but really we are doing our kids a disservice by not teaching them how to have relationships that they can interact with personally, with their siblings, with you, with guests that we go out with. And so I'm just suggesting that you break up with your phone while you're having a meal and just see what kind of conversations you can have. That's it for today's video. I hope this inspires you to have a conversation with your family and see how that actually goes, and anticipate that there might be some lulls in the conversation. That's okay. You're learning to communicate with each other, but you are teaching your kids a valuable lesson that relationships are important and that looking at someone in the eye when you speak to them is important. So hopefully this inspires you to try it out. If you do, leave me a comment below and let me know what you think and how it went, if it was awkward or if you actually had some really fun, interesting conversations. And until next time, stay inspired, and I will see you in the next video. See ya, ladies.